All right. So, I think what I'm going to do to open and close the streams is play something that I know. Again, hopefully, playing it enough times will improve it. The two songs that I at least feel comfortable, at least somewhat performing, would be Blue Bossa and that Misty, like fingerstyle thing. In fact, I'm probably going to do Blue Bossa fingerstyle as well. But just really simple, not really any chord melody or anything, just playing the melody and then soloing for a little bit. Um, in fact, originally, this is a nice song that I did on ukulele. If you notice, I'm only playing the top four strings. I just, moved that over. I'm sure if I really wanted to start practicing this again, I could work on actually using better chords. Oh, man, got a little bit of cock. But anyways, Blue Bossa. Oops. So it's simple. You know, uh, haven't played it in a bit. I thought that was okay. Not necessarily the greatest, but yeah, that's an idea of just a really simple thing. Even going over the chords, um, it's it's mostly just a two. It's a lot of 2-5-1s in C minor. So usually I play something like this as the chords. Oops. It's a really simple 16 bar form. And all it is it's like C minor, uh, F minor. You can do some substitutions there. So it's like C minor for 2 bars, F minor for 2 bars. Then it's the 2-5-1, so the minor 2-5-1. So I believe it should be D G7, back to C minor, and then you do a major 2-5-1, pointing. I believe it's to, what should it be? I swear it's. No, I gotta check. I have the book right here. Let me check. Let's check before I say something that's not quite correct. I believe it's in C minor. It should be because I know that chord is C minor. It is Yeah, I'm right. So it's the 2-5-1 pointing towards. Um, should be no, it's a D flat, pointing to D flat. So a half step up, right, which is what I do when soloing during those 4 bars. Just move up and play a major. Really easy to solo over. And again, it's a 2-5-1 in E flat, so it's E flat minor, A flat, D flat, and then back to the main 2-5, which is a D half D half diminish, G, C minor, and then pointing back 2-5 is the tremolo. So a pretty easy song to play. That's why a lot of people recommend it as a first song, or like like first your first set of standards to play. Man, I really gotta. I just got a colic there. It's popping up on stream. Anyways, so yeah, back to what I was saying before. What I want to do tonight is maybe usually the way I practice is I do it in about half an hour bursts. So maybe doing 1 or 2 of those on stream, and usually every half an hour I'll take a break or something. But this first section, I kind of want to continue with what I was talking about last time of essentially I call it like line leading, but the basic the high level idea here is for each chord, when you're soloing on the 3, choose which chord tone you're going to play, and then on beat 1, right? So in the simplest, most abstract form, you got 5 notes, and in this case, the 1 is going to be the first note is going to be a chord from the first chord, and your 5th is going to be is going to be a chord from the chord you're moving to. And what I'm just going to generalize this further of an even easier thing, even before thinking of chord changes. You can do this with the same chord. So, for example, as I said, the simplest thing is you are going 3 and 4 and 1, or again, even more generally, you got 5 notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But to a metronome, you should be 1, 2, da 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 da, right? Anyways, so because we're working on It Could Happen to You, I'm gonna, in fact, let me see. There we go. Because we're working on It Could Happen to You. Let's just start with E flat. And even before that, I think I'm just gonna play some major lines in E flat, just to really get it. So I'm gonna just work it up. So that's just a basic idea. So let's go back to our original idea. So in some ways, this is kind of the reverse. So instead of thinking we're starting on 3, when you're within the chord, again, this is the basic most like we're just playing 8th note lines, filling every beat with some 8th note, right? That's eventually the end goal of being able to write long 8th note lines, and that's super important in jazz. And the eventual point we're going to get to is you can think about doing this exercise that I'm talking about, starting on the 1 within a chord, play 5 notes, and you'll always. Now, of course, when a chord only lasts 2 beats, you can't necessarily do this. You do have to do the change. But the idea is most of the time, right, when chords last a full measure, 1 through 3, you're going to be thinking of this like in the chord type exercise, and then from 3 to 1, you're going to be thinking of the change. So even sticking with E flat, let's just give an example. So you got 4 chord tones. As I said, you got for E flat, you got E, G, should be B flat, and D, right, and then E flat is up here. So you got 4 chord tones, and the idea is choose one of them. I'm going to start with the easiest. Let's start with E flat, and then let's get to G. Well, let's do it even easier. E flat to B flat. Why? Because you can just go up the scale is the first most example. So let's go 1 and 2 and 3. But generally, you know, you want to come up with interesting lines. So let's go through all of our techniques. Thirds, we can get there, right? So if we go, we can also go up the arpeggio, go down to the 4th, and then come up to the 5th. So that sounds like this. We can also go 1, 3, 6. If you want to go out of this, so you can also add half steps below on offbeats generally. So you can even go outside of that. But if you want to keep it simple, you can stick to chord tones. So a similar idea of doing that is let's take the arpeggio, go 1 through 6. So 4, 5, 1. So 1 and 2 and 3. So this is starting from the lower one. We can also start from the higher one. And in fact, I encourage, you know, practicing this like type of in-chord idea of try the lower octave, especially on guitar. You kind of got 2-ish octaves in the same position. Try lower octave, higher octave. And then you can also, you know, again, back to kind of a central idea of expanding, making your own practice ideas more complicated. You can think about it both ways. So starting on the lower octave and trying to get to the higher octave, for example, of another chord tone. You can also do with itself with this idea. So let's go with 5 notes from upper octave to lower octave. I think the simplest way, starting in C to get to here, is go, I think, down the arpeggio. 1, 1 and 2, yeah, 1 and 3. Another idea is to, so another important idea is the idea of a pivot arpeggio. So instead of staying here and going directly down, you can also go down a full octave. Right. Generally pivots. It's a good strategy to start on the 7th because then you start on the 1. Which sounds, you know, it's a nice variation instead. And it allows you to change movement or change direction of your line. So again, back to the 1 to 1. Let's say even getting out of ideas of arpeggios, we're going to need a way to do that skip, I think. So as I said, let's go. So octave down to the 7th below. Or we can just go down to the 3rd. Octave 3, 2, 7, 1. Okay, what are some other ideas? Let's do the ascending version of this, just to do that. As I said, the arpeggio is probably the most straightforward that you know. 1 and 2 and 3. Let's go 1, 3, 6. 1, 3, 6. Let's do 1, 3, 6, 5, 8. That's almost kind of like a pentatonic idea. As I said, we can also think about adding, as you get more complicated, you can think about notes out of the scale that are a note below. So one idea is to go uh, eight, seven, eight, seven. Let's do it this way. So that's octave, 6 below, flat 7, 7, 8. Oops. That's pretty jarring. This might be too big of a skip. Let's keep going. Let's go octave above, and I really want to work on the octave above. So like you want descending lines for this type of stuff. I think is more important to know. Ascending stuff is of course good too, depending on the types of notes you're targeting or trying to get to. Let's do the hardest one, right? When they're very close, right? The 1 and the 7, right? For the major, is a half step apart. So you got to think of some way to kind of get there. So let's do like 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, or 8, 8, 6, 5, 6, 8, or 7. You can also do what I did there. So 8, 6, 3, 5, 7. Let's see, what other ideas? We can go descending. Kind of do this pattern. So it's 8, 7, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Let's do 8, 5. I think that's just the going down the fourth. It sounds nice. Oops. So 8, 5, 6, 3, 7, 1 in 1 and 2 and 3. What are some other ideas? We can get down. We haven't done the full octave displacement, so we can go. Let's go octave 5, 3, 1. Let's do 2, so we have a nice third movement at the end. So. We can skip directly the third, right? And this is kind of like a pivot, right? Because ascending, it should be third. One and 2 and 3. It's a nice little, thing there. So yeah, let's think about something else. Let's go 7th to 3rd. As I said, I think being able to move from the 7th to 3rd and the 3rd to the 7th is probably the most basic to know, but also maybe the most important. So let's do from upper 7th to lower 3rd. So let's go something like. Well, going down the scale is easiest. We can also do maybe a thirds idea. We can do maybe start with a fourth, so going from the 7th to the 4th. Both variations there, so we go 7, 7, 4, 7, 4, 5, 6, 3. But you can also 6, 5, 3. So that's a nice idea. What else? What else can we do? Um, we can also add some chromatic ideas. Starting jumping to the fifth and just walking down. I do that quite a bit. Because, and as I'll explain later, you can then convert this, keeping in the chord, into the 3 to the 1. So so eventually you want to be able to do something like 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right. So that's how you get a line, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you're building a full measure up to the 1. And that's eventually what you build to. So we can keep moving on. I don't know. Which variation haven't we done? Oh, let's do lower third to upper seventh. Actually, let's do this one. Upper third to lower seventh. Or sorry, upper third to lower seventh. So that's 3, 3, 2, 1, 6, 7. Sounds like a pretty good one. So yeah, I think you get the idea of that. So for It Could Happen to You, as I've done a few times, starts on E flat major. But you should do this eventually. So what are all the different chords? Let's just list them out. Let's just think about in the entire song. And again, we're replacing the 2 in the 2-5. We're just thinking about the 5 to make it simple. That way we can again do this trick that I'm saying, where it's like within the bar you can extend this 1 to 3 exercise and then go to your 3 to 1 type of ideas. Within the reason why you're working within the same chord is if it goes for 2 bars, yeah, you're gonna have to do that. And this is how you build up lines. And the idea is building up the muscle memory, because when you hit on the new chord on the 1, you've already worked on the 1 and 2 and 3, and then you get to some chord tone and you've done the opposite where you've gone between chords. So you do the 3 and 4 and 1. So you're just kind of alternating between these two techniques, and I think in the chord is much easier and allows you to be more creative. Anyways, so let's just enumerate all the different chords. So there's E flat major 7. There's the 2-5, which is the G diminished to C7, but as we said, we're only focusing on the 5. So you got E flat and now C7. There's F minor 7. There's A diminished to D, but we'll just think of it as D7. And then we go E flat and A flat. You can do a slight trick here. You can just think of E flat to A flat as just E flat. So let's just think about this for a second. Let's do our usual think about this in C. Because if we went from C major to F major, what's the difference between those two chords, or even key centers? You can think about it, right? In the scales, I think is kind of a better way to think about it. Well, F has a B flat, so you could just keep playing in C, and imagine you're playing over a dominant for the second 4 bars. So maybe either avoid the B or B flat, or just think about it in dominant. The other way to think about it is C is just a C major 7 is just a Lydian version of F major 7, right? B flat raising the 4th. So you can just stick in E flat. Yeah, it turns out that's one pretty simple strategy. I'm going from the 1 major to the 4 major. of course, you still can treat them as two separate scales. But if you want to simplify, I think it's helpful to give yourself more space, right? Doing that way gives you two whole measures to think about or create a line, as compared to going from one to one. A lot of these substitutions are to do that, to make instead of you going every half measure to really simplify. Hence why a lot of jazz musicians came up with these tactics. So as I was saying, E flat and A flat, we can keep them separate. Usually, you're just going to move up a string, and it's a whole thing. But know that you can just think about that as E flat. We do one measure of G diminished, or half diminished, and then one measure of C7. As I said, we already talked about C7, so we'll just think of that as 2 bars of C7. Then we do the F minor and then B flat. You can keep that as F minor and then to B flat, or just think about those 2 bars as B flat, because it's the 2/5 of E flat. But as I said, those were F minor, and then B flat. Right now, I'm thinking of them separately. I haven't really gotten to that point. But as I said, we got E flat, C, D, F minor, B flat. We got 5 chords. And then there's a part that eventually goes to C minor, right? It's the... What bars would that be? It would be I believe the 11th and 12th bars. It's the stuff that sounds like this. So it's D minor, G7, C minor. So we need to know G7. And then we need to know C minor eventually. And then C minor just goes into F minor, B flat. And then from there, we got E flat to A. We got a bunch of chords near the end, but I would say those are really the chords. Hypothetically, there are some turnarounds, but they're kind of in E flat. I mean, let's not complicate it. So as I said, we got E flat, C 7, so E flat major 7, C 7, F minor, B flat, and C minor, and then G7. So 6-ish ones. So the idea is you go through all these. So I'm going to start by doing the C7. And on my guitar, I'm usually playing C in this position, right? Because this is A, B, C. So the arpeggio. C dominant. As I said, you can either think about it starting, as we were doing with our chords. We usually play here, so maybe you can put C7 here, but it's good to know that it's E flat. You can go down two frets, or you can go up 3. I like putting it here. So just in this really simple position, let's just do our same exercise that we did before. So we're going to do the 1 and 2 and 3. So let's do, as I said, it's probably most useful to start from 1 down to 3, or the upper 1, I guess, is the bigger thing there. So let's go 1 to 3. 1 and 2 and 3. So that's octave 7. That's of course the dominant 7th. 5 for 3. We can also do the thirds idea. We can go down to the 2nd. So maybe some. octave 5, 2, 3. You can also do the other variation. So octave 5, 4, 2, 3. Assuming also think of it as an enclosure, so not instead of doing the second, maybe do the minor third. 1, 2, and 3. As I said, a half note below is another convention to know, especially on the ands as you're targeting a note. It sounds nice, right? And even practicing in this, right? You can expand this. I'm saying 1 and 2 and 3, but let's say you wanted to bring in start on the and. Well, one tactic is to go a half step below, right? So, and 1, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3. And you can do that on the 7th. And if you do this for a while, you learn some rules that if you have a pattern that's 3 notes. So as I was saying, let's do what I just did. So it was and 7. Oops. And 1 and 2, 2. So you can think about it as a half step below. So you got and 7. Or sorry. And 1 and 2. Oh, sorry, I was talking about 3-note patterns. So if you go and 1, 2, 3. So you go. So my pattern is going to be and 7, 5, 4, and 3, 2, 1. Right? And it's nice to think about that way for phrasing because you get. Because with the and, you get nice 4-note type of patterns. So that's a good thing to know, right? You got 8 eighth notes in a bar. It's one tactic. So if you start on the and do a pattern of 3 notes, and then you do on the and of 2, you will always and write it at the end of the bar, and then you can skip, right? So. It's nice if your target notes are like a third away or some nice relationship, because then you just skip up to the next and then you do the 1 and 2 and 3. Let's do a few more of C7. Let's do 5 to 3. Oops, I think I went too far. 3 and 4 and 1. So it's 5, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2. Or sorry, 5, 1, 5, 2, 4, 1, 2, or 3. Again, that nice walk down. So 5, 4, or sorry, 5, sharp 4, 4, 2, 3. Also do a triplet there. One triplet, 2, and 3. It's a nice thing to know with the blues scale too. I tend to do that sometimes because you got that nice pattern of notes. So this is a general idea, an even simpler way. Even messing around with changing chords, being able to do this type of stuff of 1 and 2 and 3 in the chord. And then, as I said, you get more advanced. You're able to do stuff like, let's just make it simple. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So I played the flat 6. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and as I said, it starts building more lines. And if you keep practicing this, hypothetically, again, I'm not quite here yet, and I gotta practice this, is you should be able to continuously do this. So just within the same chord, not thinking about even changing chords, of just hitting chord tones on ones and threes. So let me give one example of. Let me do up to the next three. So as I was doing before, I was doing the 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Oops. 1 and 2 and sorry. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. I don't know, hypothetically. Working on a line like that. But as you get better, you should be able to do this, even real slow, is just do this for some indefinite number of measures. And this is, something that I got to practice and work on. But if you're able to do that, it'll become very natural as you need to fill space. And you'll build a good notion of, you have 2 bars, how long do I have to do this? Or you can do the type of substitutions that I was saying, or even kind of like blue, as I was doing in Blue Bossa. I don't really think about that as, I think of it as, C and D flat. Really simple. You got to simplify. A lot of chords are moving too fast. So, anyways, I'm going to take a real quick break. When we come back, maybe I'll do some more. Maybe we'll bring in the other exercise. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm also gonna. I got a travel guitar that I'll show for a little bit. All right, be right back. I am back, but I'm going to tune this thing real quick. So I got this because, as you can see, I don't necessarily want to bring my semi-hollow guitar, when I'm on vacation, or somewhere where I have to bring it, in the car with me. So I have some traveling plans coming up, I think, later this week. I'm excited to bring this thing on the road. I got this, so it's a Traveler Electric. I also got. Whoa! Oh, it's because my picks in. I ordered the acoustic version of this, and didn't like the pickup very much. So it's like I think it's a Pietro. I'm not that into acoustic guitars, so I can't necessarily tell you. but comes with a bridge pickup. But that had so much string noise, even despite it being a bridge pickup. But I'm pretty happy with this. I think for the money I paid for it, and I'm gonna combine it with a practice amp that I had before that you can see right here. Man, what is this? A Joyo practice amp. I think it's tech. You can look it up again. Not sponsored. Just giving ideas of my rig, and how I'm approaching this. You know, for around $400, you have like a full travel setup. Yeah, I think this thing sounds great. It's been able to take my jazz strings, so I forget the individual gauges, but the top is a 13. On this guitar, I think the top is a 12. I forget which size, but these are jazz mediums, whatever, the Diodario jazz mediums. But I think this thing sounds really nice, especially for the price point. Again, for jazz, you know, having only one bridge pickup, it's not the best, and of course you don't have a volume or anything on this. But for practicing or bringing it with you, I think it's pretty high quality. And the fact that this thing can take these bigger strings, I mean, we'll see if I run into any problems, because again, these are not compared to the thin strings that this came with. These strings are much heavier. They have the roller on the bottom. It just connects. My strap connects in the back there with usual tuning heads. But yeah, let's just play the chords. I think this sounds excellent. It was a big difference for me of even putting the bigger strings. I think this thing sounds great. I'm really happy with it. Again, I'll give a bigger update, but I just wanted to show this. Again, not sponsored. I bought it, but second guitar. Anyways, I'll be right back. We're gonna do another maybe half an hour practice session and then probably call. So I'm back. Let's see. So I think the plan is try and do the technique that I was saying before, the 5-note pattern. I got to come up with a better name. Just explaining thought process and stuff that's been helpful for me. You know, even before that, let's just play the melody at full tempo. Put a metronome on.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Am I quiet? I'm definitely quieter than I've been. I think. All right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's. Now I'm paranoid. Let's do our check into the stream. Now I'm paranoid. Let's do our
Yeah,
check.
we're good. What am I doing? What am I thinking? All right. Anyways, spectrum.
pretty well done. My general idea is I think we're going to do a little more of the trying to connect lines again. Maybe going to 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Really bringing it out because I think that's going to be most helpful for me. I think I might try and put the simple backing track and just see how it goes. No guarantees. It might be awful, but try and play along, see where I'm at. I think it'll be a good barometer as to what I'm able to hear in my playing. And as I said, as a somewhat of a makeup and in general, my idea of trying to play at least 2-ish, being able to play the songs at least that I know well enough, just to perform them. I'm gonna probably play that really simple arrangement I'm gonna do. Anyways, let's do what we were talking about before. Again, starting in E flat. Let's think of something that connects octave, 3, 7, and I'm playing an E flat. No, I'm right. That's E flat. So 7, 3. No, wait, what was I gonna do? Octave, 3, 7. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. That's nice. So, oops. Oh, I mean you can play that. That's a little bit out of E flat. Let's think of another way to get there. We can go 1, 3, 1, 3, 4, 2, 3. That's nice too. Let's jump. I want to do a jump from 5 to 9. Where I can do 5. That's nice. If we can go 1, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1. I'm just gonna do the rhythm. 1, 1, 8. Oops. 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Oh, sorry. I want to go to 7. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. That's pretty. What was doing? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now, let's see if we can do that line. Let's add a little bit more to it. So this can be almost 1.5 measures. But let's add the 5th. Right, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Oh, sorry. 1, 1, 1. Man, I don't like this reset as much. It's a little bit louder, but not my favorite. This is a little bit nicer. There we go. I think that's the idea I want to go with. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 1 and 1 and 2 and 3. Something like that maybe. Okay. And then, just to make this more complicated because I want to end here. This is the 7th for C7, right? No. Nope, that is not the chord tone. This is the 7th. It's B flat. So let's go let's just target the fifth again. And then we'll build on. So actually, let's make this simpler. Let's actually keep with the standard, so we can bring the ideas together. So, man, my hair sticking up is annoying me. Doing what I was doing before. So 1 and 2. Let's change it to end on the 5th instead of the 7th to get to B flat, and then we're going to pretend that we're in C7 doing the same ideas. So, well, not pretend, but really building it out, right? So the song goes exactly in that way. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Oh man, 1 second. All right, gonna end a little early. Gotta go off. I'm gonna try and play Misty real quick. As I said, I promised that. Let's get my real quick version of it. Man, okay, let's start over. Cause, try to find a good volume. Yeah, so okay. Anyways, that's the quick stream for tonight. Anyways, have a good one, everybody.